It's Sunday, April 1st, 2018. Which means it's April Fool's Day. Welcome. Spend a day with a fool. Or at least the next, 15 minutes. It'll be fun. It'll make you feel better about yourself if you spend 15 minutes with a fool. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to go over the channel's health. And what is the channel's health? Well, right now we got about 504 total views. We had a good week because we got like about 65 views. Holy smokes. No, we had 508 total views. We got 69 views. We almost got up to 70 because last week we were at 439. So we got up to 508, which puts us at 69 views. If I did the math right, 69 views. 69. That's a lot of views. We did 8 videos this week. We're up to 98. Today's is 99. So tomorrow's video will be 100 unless I do another video today. So I've stuck to my guns on this. Then today is Sunday, so it's time for Sunday Smorgasbord, which means I get to talk about what I want to talk about. And what I want to talk about is the XFL and the AAF potential cities. Now this right now is 4 potential Western Conference cities. What I think the AAF and the XFL should try to do to maybe minimize some of the travel is to really maybe keep 2 divisions, or, because they're only going to do 8 teams each. So have one division that's kind of really out west and one division that's kind of pretty good east. So that you can kind of cut down on some of the travel that you're going to have to do. Now, the West is gigantic. If you're talking west of the Mississippi, there's a lot of land over there. East of the Mississippi, not as much land, but a lot of cities. So I started with 4, and I looked at cities that don't really have NFL teams, but could probably support a football franchise. They have big enough populations. To give you some reference, Colorado has about Denver has about 700,000 people, and we support a football franchise just fine. So, in fact, I think only the Washington Redskins have more straight sellouts than Denver does for NFL franchises. So the Washington Redskins are still kicking our butts. Even Green Bay doesn't have, the Green Bay Packers don't have as many sellouts in a row as Denver and Washington. So I tried finding some cities that don't really have NFL franchises. Now, I stayed away from LA, and LA, they have 2 of them. I stayed away from San Diego, because to me, LA is close enough. You got 2 LA teams now in the Chargers and the Rams. So it's just more or less San Diego. If you really want to watch a football game, you can go to LA, so it's no big deal. So I thought of other cities that are relatively good sized, over 500,000 or over, had a stadium that had a capacity that's not quite. We don't need stadiums that have 65,000 seats. The XFL and the AAF are not going to draw 65,000 people on a weekly basis. You want to still make these stadiums look full. You want them to stay intimate. You want the crowd to be loud for your home team. So you want to try to keep the crowds down. Now, you can take big stadiums and kind of focus everybody into like the middle, because I've seen them do that. They'll take, the WWE is really good at when their stadiums aren't, or arenas aren't really full. They basically block off giant sections of the arena and focus everybody into a smaller place. So you could technically still do that as well, focus everybody onto basically the sideline stuff. Don't put anybody in the end zone stands. But why not have just full stadiums at smaller capacities? So we're going to get into my 4 Western Conference cities as of right now. I'm going to do more cities, but these are 4 potential Western Conference cities that I've started out with. I've even named the teams, and I've done AAF names, which will be probably more traditional mascots than the XFL, which might go a little bit more crazy. So we're going to start with Sacramento, the Northern California area. Now, this is going to kind of run into a little bit into another city that I put on here, but Sacramento supports the Kings pretty well. I think if they had their own AAF or XFL team, they may support the team as well. And They have a stadium that is Papa Murphy Stadium. It has about 11,500 seats. It's a good thing. You could probably sell out that stadium. And it was built in 2014, renovated in 2015. So it's got a good amount. It's fairly new. Sacramento has a population of about 500,000 people. Once again, also a good population base. So you can get maybe 10,000 people into that stadium to watch an AAF or XFL game. So what would Sacramento's mascot be? The Wasps. Why? Because I think they have a newspaper called the Sacramento Bee. So why not have the Sacramento Wasps as your name? And you could use that for both. The AAF and I think the XFL would probably spell wasps with a Z at the end. So it'd be wasps. Wasps. To make it more extreme. But the Wasps. You can make a really mean-looking wasp. If there can be a hornet in Charlotte, then there can be a wasp in Sacramento. So our next city, San Antonio. They support the Spurs really well. They have the Alamo Dome. I don't know if the Alamo Dome still actually exists, but they actually have Alamo Stadium, which was built way back in 1940, and it holds about 23,000 people. San Antonio, its population is 1.4 million people. It is a gigantic city in Texas, but it never gets the press that Houston and Dallas, it doesn't get the press that those cities get. So why not put one in San Antonio? I thought a little bit of Austin, because Austin seems to be an up-and-coming city. They seem to really be growing. But I stayed away from them because they seem to be more of I don't know, they seem to be one of those cities that's going to grow and then maybe regress a little bit when everybody realizes that there are bigger cities in Texas to move to. I don't know. By what I hear of Austin, it's a beautiful place. So maybe, but San Antonio is also a beautiful place. Has great history, especially with the Alamo, and they have a stadium called Alamo Stadium. 23,000 people. It's an older stadium, though, 1940. They have made renovations to it, but, it's still a good stadium. Their name also could work for the XFL and the AAF. Desperados. The San Antonio Desperados. The Eagles could sing opening night. They could sing Desperado. Why don't you come to your senses? Why don't you come to your senses? You could actually have that as your little, when you're doing your commercials to try to get people to go watch the games, you could have them sit there and go, why don't you come to your senses and come watch the San Antonio Desperados down at the Alamo Stadium. Come see us on Saturday night. Saturday. Come see us. So see, why don't you come to your senses and come see the San Antonio Desperados? You got, if San Antonio Desperados, if you create that, you could use that. I'll give that to you. I know what you're thinking. You're giving away a $10 idea. That's okay. I can spare it. So where are we going next? Las Vegas. Now I know what you're saying, Randy, the Oakland Raiders are going to Las Vegas. They're going to be the Las Vegas Raiders. Yeah, but they're only going to stay 10 years and then they're going to be gone because, the Raiders, they're nomads. In fact, they should change their name to the Nomads. When they go to Las Vegas, they should be called the Las Vegas Nomads. Then they could have a really cool car as their logo. But Las Vegas has Sam Boyd Stadium. Sam Boyd Stadium was built back in 1983. A little bit older of a stadium, about 35 years old. But holds 40,000 people, so it's one of the bigger stadiums. I think I forgot to mention Alamo Stadium holds 23,000 people. In a city of 1.4 million people, you should be able to fill that. Now, Las Vegas actually has a population of about 630,000, but that doesn't count the tourists. So you're going to have a bunch of tourists that might want to sit there and go, hey, for a laugh, let's go see an XFL or an AAF game. And if you want, you can kind of make something down there to kind of draw them to it. I'm sure they can come up with something. Vegas has a lot of marketing people that could come up with some way to get people down to it. Sam Boyd Stadium, the only thing about Sam Boyd Stadium, it's about 20 minutes from the Strip. But you could set up shuttle buses. I mean, let's face it, shuttle buses are everywhere in that town, and so are taxis. And so you could set up some kind of a transportation system to get people to and from. And it'd be better to have shuttle buses because people could be drunk at the casinos and then be on the bus, go there, watch a game, come back, be rowdy drunks when they get back. But their stadium's a little big, 40,000. I don't know if you're going to fill 40,000, but you are in a touristy town where there are lots of people going through it all the time. Saturday night in the springtime in Vegas, where it's maybe 80, 85 degrees, really nice spring night there. It gets dark, probably, it's going to get dark at, like right about now, before March, it'll get dark at about 6 or 7, then get dark at about 8. But it'd be beautiful. I mean, nice weather, barely ever rains, great place. It'd be a great place to have a team. And remember, it wouldn't be competing with the NFL team. It would be off-season and in the spring, so it'd be fun to watch this. And you might say, well, then you can move them into Las Vegas Stadium. Las Vegas Stadium, I think, is going to have a capacity of 65 grand. Once again, big stadiums. You don't want giant stadiums. 40,000 is even a little bit bigger, but Las Vegas doesn't really have any other really good stadiums for this. I was looking to see if they had a soccer stadium. That Papa Murphy Stadium in Sacramento is actually a soccer stadium. The Alamo Stadium, I think, is just a small stadium, period. It's been around since 1940, so it's been around forever. This one's been around since 1983, Sam Boyd Stadium. It's where the UNLV Running Rebels play. So Las Vegas, what would their names be? For the XFL, the Mafia. They built Vegas, baby. The Las Vegas Mafia. They used to have the Hitmen, so why not just call their team the Las Vegas Mafia? And for the AAF, I don't think they'd want to use Mafia. It has too much of a negative, it's too negative. Desperado is kind of a cartoony, goofy thing. You don't think of anybody as a desperado anymore. Mafia still kind of exists, but call themselves the Las Vegas Fortune. Basically, people go to Las Vegas to try to find their fortune. These players that are going to play in the AAF and the XFL are looking for their fortunes in the NFL, so they're playing there to maybe make it a little bit further. So the Las Vegas Fortune kind of makes sense for the AAF. It's a little bit more of seeking your future and seeking, a better life for yourself through this. Now we're going to get into our last city, Portland. This is where I said we're going to run into Northern California with Portland, Oregon, a little bit close together. Portland has 640,000 people in it. They have a place called Providence Park, which is also a soccer stadium that holds about 21,000, 22,000 people. It was modified in 2017. They have 2 sets of teams that play in it, so you can now add an AAF or an XFL team. So Portland is a great city in the spring. You might get a little bit of rain, maybe a little bit of snow towards the beginning of the spring, end of the winter. You might end up with a little bit of snow, but let's face it, it's football. You can play football in the snow. Of course you play football in the snow. I remember when I was a kid, playing football in the snow was a kick in the head until you couldn't feel your feet or your toes or your fingers or your face or anything. It was still a ton of fun. So for Portland, the names, XFL, the Portland Mayhem. Hell yes. Portland Mayhem. Great name for them in Portland. Has nothing to do with Portland. But the AAF, go a little bit more, subtle. Portland Mist. Because they are known for a little bit of their rain and having some misty, foggy mornings. And mists can be very, they can be very, the word is escaping me. So I'm not going to say it. I'm not going to try to say it. But it can be mysterious. The mist can be mysterious. See what I did there? But there you go. So, and you can spell mist any way you want. M-I-S-T, M-Y-S-T, although you might run into a video game that might get mad about that. But there it is. Those are 4 teams. Those are 4 cities right now that I'm kind of planning that if I was in the XFL or the AAF, I'd be looking at these cities. Non-traditional NFL cities with good populations, smaller stadiums that can maybe look a little bit more full. So, there you go. Oh, by the way, we're also up to 13 subscribers. We're doing pretty good on that as well. So, I'm pretty happy with how things are progressing with the channel. So, with all that being said, to the troops, past, present, and future, thanks for the freedom.